Hi everybody, I'm Dan Doskey from Legal Graphicworks and LGW MediaWorks. We're here for another episode of Courtside Convo. Our guest today is Jim Margolis from Margolis Technologies. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you. Hi, Dan. How you doing?
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and your background?
I'm in the computer business in a section of the industry we call an MSP. I'm a managed service provider. I support networks for businesses.
And some of those businesses are law firms.
Law firms, doctors' offices, accountants, yes.
So what are the things that law firms in particular need to, be aware of when it comes to managing their computers, network, et cetera?
Well, first of all, the document management, I guess, is number one. And of course, the number one issue for everybody's computer, not just lawyers, is backups. Having secure backups, more than one backup, having offsite backups, having automatic backups.
How has that part of the business changed over the years? I mean, it's the technology and, the size, space, cost of storage and all that.
Well, none of that, but it doesn't have to be on physical media anymore. And that used to be the issue, was you had to have physical media and you had to maintain the physical media and swap it out and do all of that. And now it just goes to the cloud. It goes automatically every night or even more often if you want. It's taken care of. You get a little email if something doesn't work. But other than that, your backups are safe off-site. Your office could burn down. Your backups are safe. Your computer network could be infected with ransomware. Your backups are safe. And because you have them running every night or twice a day, it's the latest data.
Right, so
backups,
it's up to date, yeah.
Not only that, but backups now can do something called versioning, where it's not just a backup of today's file, but it's a backup of the files as they were yesterday and last week and last month.
Okay.
So you can go back to a file at any point if it was corrupt or something else like that.
Yeah.
So yes, as opposed to manually changing tapes in a machine to how it works now, it's much better.
So when things go to the cloud, for people who don't understand what that is, what is it? Is it safe? Why is it safer than, because it's still being stored somewhere by somebody that nobody knows, right?
There's a phrase in the business for a while now. It's not a cloud, it's just somebody else's server.
Right.
Okay? And yes, it's just a server on the internet. But as it turns out, it's much more efficient to use a server on the internet than it is to go through the expense and hassle of owning and managing a server on premises. And the server in the cloud is updated all the time, and you don't have to worry about the software that's on it or any of that. So yes, doing things like that to the internet, to the cloud, on a server that's somebody else's machine, admittedly, but that's a much better way than trying to do it yourself and doing it in your own office.
What are, when we have like these internet outages, right? Like there's a couple of major, I guess, providers that actually kind of connect everybody together. So what are the things that people could do, or is there anything you can do to protect yourself? Like if one major service goes down, do you have a way to move around?
For instance, the larger hyperscalers, as they're called, like Microsoft and Google and those fellows, they're keeping their servers spread out all over the globe and copying data all over to different places on the globe at once. Right. So at any given time, if there's a local outage, you can get to your stuff from another path. Smaller providers, however, they are depending on providers like Cloudflare, for instance, and other internet intermediaries. And if they go down, like has happened in the past few months, it can cause a major outage. But like it did happen, every man gets to work on that immediately, and they usually solve the problem pretty quickly because it's a significant outage. It's affecting a lot of business.
Yeah. In terms of artificial intelligence, we just were talking on another episode that we've used tools like this for a long, long time. Maybe like 20 years to do various tasks. Now it's gotten a little bit more into, it's definitely advanced thinking, creating things that, didn't exist before. But how does AI, figure into what you do, and why is it important for people to kind of stay up on the latest?
Well, they're integrating AI into almost everything these days, but AI figures into what I do and providing that service part, because it's able to, and this is part of what a managed service is, try to predict issues in advance. Instead of waiting, the old way what used to be done was called break fix, and you waited for something to break and then you fixed it. But now with software that I install on my client machines, I'm able to stay ahead of hardware crashes and Windows failures and other things like that, and try to replace something and fix something before it becomes a problem. AI only increases the ability to do that, and it's a better monitor than I could be on some things.
Is there any danger with it that people need to look out for? Is it better at, say, infiltrating systems or hacking passwords or things like that?
Yes, AI is going to be better at hacking passwords. It's going to be better. One of the benefits of the past 10, 20 years has been phishing and hacking attempts, and emails that you got like that usually had glaringly bad English and other errors, and AI is going to make those much better. It's going to make those fake phone calls that try to get you to do something, and do the term in the computer business is social engineering, try to get you to reveal your password or something like that. It's going to make those attempts better. And yeah, people are going to have to be more cautious, like we're going to have to be more cautious about everything with AI and fake video and fake images and all that that's happening.
Right. So looking forward, 5 years, like you said, part of your job is to predict things that happen. So what's the sort of the future of managing computers and our digital life?
So I hate to use the word cloud more, but more and more things will be moved to the cloud. One of the things Microsoft is touting now is a virtual desktop in the cloud. And instead of having to own your own computer and your own machine, you just need something that connects to the internet, and you have a computer on the internet that you can get to from any machine. That's always there. It's available no matter where you go and no matter what machine you use. So there's going to be a lot of businesses are moving what they used to have as servers on premises. They're moving to a server in the cloud. So there's going to be more of that and more integrating of AI into that. So for instance, software to analyze your documents and find commonality amongst your client mail, that kind of thing.
Here locally, there's been a lot of talk about a data center and data centers. What are those things? Are they just to drive artificial intelligence, or is it just generally, computing power for the world?
Artificial intelligence and the accelerated use of data and computing that we'll need. Personally, I think we may be building a bit too many of them too fast. Technology changes so quickly, and here in another 10 or 15 years, computers may look radically different, and we're building these to the technology we have right now. And we see communities are in a rush to build them, but it seems like maybe we're in a bubble of data centers. I don't know for sure.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, just look at storage, right? Like There's a little card in these cameras that's about that big and holds, half of a terabyte of data. And that used to take up this entire room. So, it makes sense that those things may not be needed.
And I think it's the guys in the data center business that are part of the push for that, and the real estate guys. But I don't think that every small town in the United States needs a giant 8-acre data center. So
Right. Jim, on the subject of artificial intelligence, ChatGPT and all of the different, that's not the only one. I think that's the one that came to mind first for people, hit the public consciousness first. But there's a lot of other, competitors out there. But any of them, is it safe for people to start loading what would be confidential documents in there to inform, the output of that thing?
There's a problem and a risk of leaking data. The term we're using in the computer support business is shadow AI usage. But if you have employees that are just pulling up ChatGPT and on their own account asking a question, that's fine. But not only ChatGPT, but Claude from Anthropic and Grok and Gemini and all of them, they allow you to upload documents, spreadsheets, Word documents, various other graphic items,
anything,
PDF files,
there, really, anything. Yeah.
And most people don't understand that on the free tiers and lower paid tiers of the AIs, your data is added to the corpus of training data. And part of your agreement is if you upload it, you give them the right and the permission to do that. And a lot of organizations don't realize their employees are unknowingly uploading stuff to the AI providers, and really they lose ownership of that data at that point. The ChatGPT, for instance, and Claude, they both have now higher tiers of paid subscription, enterprise level, that kind of thing. And in those subscriptions, your uploaded data is sequestered and doesn't become part of the training data. But a lot of organizations just have employees using various LLMs, and they don't realize the risk of how loose that data is if they're uploading things to it.
Yeah. So what's a scenario that could happen where, something confidential hits AI and then becomes, spread around?
Part of the agreement you have with those guys is that you agree to let them copy it, store it, retain it indefinitely, whatever they need to do with it in order to perform their function. And of course, they could get hacked in 5 years. That data could leak somehow. You're giving it up and you're putting it out there on the cloud again, but you're putting it out there on the internet. And once that happens, unless you're on a secured account with those businesses, then you're risking that data getting out. And even not if they were hacked, but just it's possible, for instance, in a year or two, for some enterprising user to figure out how to ask the AI to reveal that data. And before they manage to catch it and turn it off, you might have your spreadsheets up on the internet or something.
Right.
So,
can you, Claude, could you find me Jim's 2024 tax return?
Exactly.
I'd like to see what it says.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the risk. And a lot of companies, they know their employees are using AI, but they really don't know that they're uploading documents and spreadsheets and PDF files, and they don't know that they become essentially public at that point.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yes, it is.
Okay, rise of the machines. Here we go. All right. Was there anything else that we should be on the lookout for, and how do people get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me on the internet at margolistechnologies.com, email at jim@margolistechnologies.com. No, backups are my main thrust, and getting everybody, if there's one thing people take away from this today, it's making sure you have backups and have them safe, because that's really the lifeblood of your business. And without that stuff, you can be really out of work, out of business.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate the time.
Good to be.
If you'd like to appear on Courtside Convo, send us an email or visit us at legalgraphicworks.com. Look for new episodes every Thursday on the Legal Graphic Works YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a show. Thanks for watching.